go.
Trish, concerns about tariffs were widespread across businesses, not just manufacturers in August. And in some cases, some companies in some districts opting to postpone or scale back capital investment. But the economy remained in solid shape, according to the Federal Reserve's Beige Book. Now, Trish, businesses grappling with higher material costs, in part because of tariffs, especially manufacturers. But manufacturers remain very optimistic about the outlook. In general, inflation pressure is building across the country. Average material costs are rising faster than the prices that businesses can sell their products for. Now, in certain cases, they have been able to pass on those higher costs to consumers. Now, on the labor market, that remained in strong shape. Widespread labor shortages reported, both for high and low-skill workers. Bottom line here, Trish, concerns about tariffs are starting to feed inflation pressure across this country, but manufacturing and the economy overall remaining in solid shape. All of this should reinforce another rate hike when the Federal Reserve meets in 2 weeks' time. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, Jennifer. Joining me right now with Reaction, Dow Jones Associate Publisher Jack Otter, along with the president of Kaltbaum Capital Management, Gary Kaltbaum. Gary, I'll start with you. What do you think of this?
The economy is smoking right now. The most important thing that I see is welfare rolls are down, poverty is down. There is nothing but good with that. It takes people out of living off the government and into actually paying into the government. And every number that I see right now, every statistic is strong as strong can be. And let's just hope it continues.
Jack?
So I would not disagree with anything Gary just said. I would say what concerns me slightly is the input costs that your correspondent mentioned.
Yeah.
Inflation is a good thing when it comes from rising wages. That's normally where inflation comes. About 70% of inflation is rising wages. When prices go up without wages, then any viewer can figure out the problem there, right? We can't afford it. You don't. That's actually called stagflation, and that's not good. I don't think at this point that tariffs are a big enough deal to really slam the economy. We just have to not let them get too much worse.
We are seeing a little bit of wage inflation, though, in the most recent report.
Was very good. That's what you want to see.
What we've seen previously, shall we say.
2.9%, I think, was good.
You get an economy that, as Gary says, is just smoking. So, Gary, how long do we stay in this sort of very positive Goldilocks environment? And are tariffs the biggest threat to it right now?
Well, I have to tell you, I thought that the economy would start to slow down, but it looks like it's staying as strong as it was last quarter, if not getting better right now. So whatever's working is working. And I think the big help continues to be not only the rhetoric out of the administration, not only how businesses are feeling, but interest rates continue to stay really, really low. Europe and Japan have no interest in raising rates or stop even the printing of money. And China just went on a big easing program again. And on top of the fact, the last time we had unemployment at this rate, we had a Fed funds at 6%. We're still at 1 3/4 too. So that's a big help also. But all I can tell you right now, and I have to repeat it, every statistic I am looking at so far is darn good. I'm not so worried about inflation yet, maybe down the road because the Fed's behind the curve. But, today's Wednesday, and Wednesdays is still a good day.
You know who probably doesn't like hearing this, and I hate to say it, but you look at some of the Democrats right now, whether that be Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, or President Obama, who most recently, as recent as last Friday, was out trying to claim credit for the positive economic stuff that's going on, saying, those are my policies, right? My policies have finally kicked in, and what do you know? Suddenly the economy's doing better. Democrats don't like this. It will perhaps influence midterms, Jack, because people are realizing that the good economy actually wasn't a result of Obama policies, was it?
I would push back a little bit there. If you look at the trend of unemployment, wages, all those sort of things, it's if you took out the dates at the bottom, if you looked really carefully, you might see a little bit of a Trump bump in some of them, but it's actually a trend that's been going on for 10 years. I would say you can find some acceleration.
You're talking about a trend for 10 years, so walk me through your thinking.
So one example.
Because I remember those 8 years during the Obama administration.
So
and we
one example, in the last
news.
18 months of Obama's administration, we created 3.96 million jobs. In the first 18 months of Trump's, it was about 3.7 million. So a little bit more under Obama, but call it the same.
You know what I think that was? People knew Obama was on his way out. Gary, they knew it was coming to an end. And no matter who won, it was going to be an improvement over Barack Obama's economic policies. Do not forget, this was the man who was out there saying, you didn't build that, you didn't create that. He hated business. So even if Hillary Clinton had won, dare I say, had Hillary Clinton won, it still would have been an improvement because she may not have had the exact same hostility to business that Barack Obama did.
Well, I have a little bit of a different take. If I was the president when Obama started, and you gave me 8 years of 0% interest rates, $15 trillion of printed money, and $9 trillion of deficit spending, I would have showed you 5 to 7% GDP the whole time. I just really believe it, and I say this with no bias. I believe higher taxes, more regulations and mandates and fees and fines works against the economy and the working people of this country, and we're getting some of the opposite now. I am not happy with Trump and the deficits and the spending that they upped, and that's something they're going to have to deal with very, very soon. But I really do believe that they just lived off the easiest money in the history of time for 8 years. And by the way,
to show for it.
In year 6 and 7, they were complaining it was George Bush's fault that the economy was under par, but now they claim credit under Trump when it's above par. So
crazy town.
Politics as usual.
Crazy town. Politics as usual.